What's up, YouTube? I'm going to be talking some WWE wrestling today. Not my typical, not my planned. That video is still in the works. Well, it's filmed, I just got to upload it. But okay, I'm going to talk about the potential sale of WWE. I say potential because they could not sell, because that situation makes no sense. But before we do that and talk about chopping down prices and such, go check out my friends over at sabermasters.com. They sell lightsabers, lightsaber accessories, and pretty good prices. I mean, their main lightsabers, they sell their ultimate lightsabers. I think they're on 2.0s now. I think they only sell the 2.0s now. I have to go back and look on their site because it's been a while since I've been on there. But they are not ungodly expensive. I think they're either $199 or like about $220 still, compared to most other sites of that sell lightsabers. They're about $300 to $400, and this is a buy two get one free sale. They usually always have this sale going. Plus, I'll also throw in my discount code Jack, all uppercase 67110, and you'll get 15% off. So also feel free to use that, please. Graciously appreciated. Helps. I can't say it helps the channel out, but yeah, I graciously appreciate it if you use that link. You can save yourself some money. But okay, so potentially Vince McMahon's back with WWE. Potentially he's back on the board. Okay, I'm going to address what everybody wants, the Triple H of it all. Stephanie has already made it clear. She's left WWE again. Surprise, surprise. She wants to stay home with her girls. She's got 3, I think they're all teenage or close to teenage now. But they're all right in there. And she's always been home for their entire... She hasn't really been home. Besides when she's been pregnant and maybe during the pandemic, she's not really been home with them all that much throughout their entire life. So, yeah. So she wants to spend time at home with her girls. I understand that. So she'd be off the table. And Triple H, he's not a businessman. He's not. Great creative mind for wrestling. I mean, I'll be honest, the guy does know what he's talking about. I mean, look at how WWE's product's been a lot better lately. Like, it's actually been watchable. But, yeah, so he's not going to want to buy it by himself. And I don't know how well him and Nick Khan get along. So, yeah. Triple H off the table. We're not going to really discuss that. Pretty much he's not a businessman to be in the shape to buy WWE. Otherwise, that would be the best option. Well, first of all, Vince should just give it to him and just stay away. But, okay, so I'm going to go over Saudi Arabia. The 3 big ones I've heard. I've also heard Comcast and a few other, like the company behind the UFC's behind, as potential suitors and all that. But I want to go over the 3 I think are the big 3. Okay, first of all, we got Saudi Arabia. Apparently some private investment firm or whatever. That's not a good option. First of all, probably half the male wrestlers wouldn't stay with the company. And then you also got to look at, like, what are they going to do about women? Because in their culture, women are not as pristine as men. I don't understand it. I don't. I just don't. So, I don't know how they would treat Roman wrestling. You know what I mean? Would it go back to being the laughing stock it was? So, yeah, that's not what I would consider the best option. The next option I want to talk about is going to be a whole lot longer. I didn't really talk Saudi Arabia too much because I just don't like the option. I don't think it's a good option. I mean, maybe. And they're going to want to tinker with things. They're going to want to do things. You know, they're probably not keep Triple H on. They'll probably not keep Vince on. Well, unless Vince weasels his way in, because we know how big of a weasel he can be. But, yeah. So it's not, I wouldn't say really the best option. They could move WWE to Saudi Arabia, and it would just stay in Saudi Arabia. It's very possible. They could take it back private. I mean, they take it back private. Not that big of a deal. I personally would prefer it to be private and not a publicly traded company, but that's just me. But, okay, so now, let's talk. Next one is, apparently I've heard Disney is one of the contenders. Disney? Disney? You say? You say? Yeah, Disney. Not a terrible option. Though one thing I do see happening is, I don't know about contractual, like with TV stuff. I don't know how that would exactly work with the sale. I think that might automatically end, but I don't know. So we're going to put a pin in this. So I'm going to say this. First thing I'm going to say is, more than likely, depending on how TV deals work, I don't know how TV deals work, so I won't say. But, more than likely, either A, right after the sale, if the TV deal doesn't, fold over, obviously, or B, once the TV deals do expire in 2020, next year in 2024, Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, if it's still on USA, I don't even know if it's still on USA. That's how little I watch wrestling right now. Crap, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's right. They would move to ABC. More likely move to ABC. Unless they would put them on ESPN? No, I see ABC as the better bet. One of the Disney-owned stations. We'll just say that. Which would make sense. But other than that, I don't see Disney doing a whole lot. Now, obviously, Vince, the entire board of directors would all be gone. Which is fine. Unless, again, Vince whistles his way back into the head of creative. But I say just leave it with Triple H. I think Disney would see that as well. Because Disney is going to treat it just like they do Marvel. Just like they do Star Wars. Just like they do all their other brands of them. Okay, which is, Disney is the money bags. The mouse is the money bags. And they would put somebody in charge that knows wrestling in charge of WWE itself. And then it would let WWE run itself. Just like they do with Lucasfilms, just like they do with Marvel Studios. Now, they would look at the current product and how well things have been going. Because the ratings have been doing pretty, other than a few bad Raws they had to go up against, I think it was football or something. They really haven't had a bad Raw or SmackDown, really bad in the ratings in a while. Now, the one thing I could see happening is, now, because the one benefit is, with the Performance Center and all that already being in Orlando, that's also going to be something Disney's going to be like, ooh, yay. And useful. Because that's where Disney's based from. But they would let characters like Mickey Mouse, Goofy, those kind of characters. Kermit the Frog, who is a Disney character, technically, because Disney owns Muppets, show up on Raw and SmackDown, which, that's fine. That's actually be kind of funny. You see wrestlers interacting with Mickey Mouse, and Mickey Mouse throw a punch on a wrestler or something. That'd be pretty funny, actually. But yeah. Now, would they have anything to do with the theme park? Right now, I'm going to say very little wrestling with the theme park. Ooh, maybe they'll do maybe they could do a Raw or a SmackDown or a pay-per-view live from Disney World. That would be kind of cool. Let's be honest, that would be kind of cool. But that's probably the extent of it. Maybe they would let the NXT wrestlers show up at Disney World sometimes and interact with fans, meet and greets and stuff, but I don't think they would have a huge presence. I don't think they would do like a WWE Studios park or something. I don't see that happening. I mean, it's very possible, but I don't see that happening. And of course, so I think that's pretty much for Disney. Disney would not be the worst possible situation. I mean, other than station moving, that'd pretty much be the worst. That'd be the worst of it, is they would move stations. Speaking of stations, that was actually a good segue for once. Ironically, the next suitor is NBC Universal, who owns USA Network, which they currently air on. They also own the Peacock streaming service. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that all the WWE content would move over to the Disney Plus at some point. I don't know when that would be, as I said. And maybe they would put Raw and SmackDowns up there like the day after they air or something. That'd be cool. Or maybe they get the Hulu deal going again. And maybe they put the other pay-per-views and all that on there. I could see them doing that. Keep it away from Disney Plus, put it on Hulu, because Hulu's where they put more of that kind of content. So I could see them doing that. Okay, so back over to NBC Universal. Yes, everything. So since they own USA, they own the Peacock streaming service. Pretty much nothing would, if they were to purchase it, nothing would really change at all. Really. I mean, maybe some, other than like the board of directors would be gone. Vince would be back gone. Thank God. Triple H would probably stay in charge again. But again, Vince could always weasel his way back in, charge of creative. But yeah, so pretty much on that one, nothing would really change all that much. Because they wouldn't change networks, and then they would just have a permanent home on USA. Now, they would go back, SmackDown would probably go back to USA. More than likely. Because of the fact that, actually, who owns, crappers. No. I think Disney might own, no, they don't. They don't own the Fox Network. Never mind. Who does own the Fox Network? I'm not sure who owns the Fox Network. But yeah, I don't think NBC Universal would want Fox. Maybe they would move Fox SmackDown over to NBC. Maybe. I don't know. As I said, I'm just guessing here what they might do. I mean, I would say put everything back on USA, but that's just me. But that is like 7 hours of wrestling on their station a week. But yeah, that would probably be, so NBC Universal would not be terrible either. The only one I still say that would be terrible would be Saudi. Wrestlers would be happy. I'm pretty sure even with the Disney option, the wrestlers would be happy, everybody would be happy. But NBC Universal, obviously, everybody would be happy. Because they gotta think about the talent too. But I'm going to say this now, the whole thing, WWE being up for sale at all, it just makes no sense. Because normally with companies, they only go up for sale if they're failing. Or the owner wants to retire and they have no one to take over. Well, Vince definitely has someone who can take over. You got Nick Khan, who can run the day-to-day stuff. And then you got Triple H, who can run creative. So, I don't understand the wholesale thing. It to be honest, makes no sense to me. Unless Vince is just upset because of how well WWE's been doing lately. I don't know. It makes no sense. And this could have been something they were talking about even before Vince retired. Well, retired recently. A few months ago. So, I don't know. I don't know what the heck's going on with it. It makes no sense to me. Next up will be the Royal Rumble predictions video. So look out for that.